Italy and the spring and first love all together should suffice to make the gloomiest person happy. At least that's what Bertrand Russell said. Italy's renowned for its women and wine, its vineyards and villas. The pleasure of Italy was calling me like a siren. What an idyllic place to spend a few days on a bicycle in the spring. Boy, was I a ways from that dream. Old Bertrand has never slept out in the 35-degree rain on the side of a mountain, that's for sure. But I had, thanks to a man known as Giacomo, who I simply refer to now as Mephistopheles, the devil. But I'm getting ahead of the story. Let's start with a race briefing, where he gave us a not-so-detailed set of instructions.
Quindi, il primo posto sarà governolo, ok? Non potete sbagliarvi perché per terra...
I saw a couple of old friends at the race, and Jay and Rebecca. Jay predicted he'd finish after the second night. Well, he was half right.
I'm Jay Peterberry. I'm from Victor, Idaho. I'm here to do the Italy Divide. This is the first edition, and we're going to ride 800 kilometers from Rome to Lake Garda.
Rebecca Rush from Ketchum, Idaho, and I'm in Italy. Holy crap.
What are you doing in Italy?
I'm going to ride 500 miles all the way to Lake Garda.
I wasn't sure what kind of bike to ride, but I believe the old adage, when in Rome, literally, so I chose an Italian bike. Guerciati from Milan makes the winningest cyclocross bikes in the world. I decided to go with an aluminum cross bike. It turned out to be the only Italian bike in the whole field. So much for being in Rome. Highly tuned athletes were nervously fiddling with last-minute gear checks or just puffing their final cigarette. 90 racers started in all, and 50 would finish. We began at the world-famous Colosseum. I should have known that when we were pushing up our bikes in the first 30 minutes, we were in for a challenge. We were hauling ass through the streets of Rome, but I knew it wouldn't last, so I enjoyed it while I could, right until we took a wrong turn. Clearly, navigation was going to be a big issue for this race. It was fun meeting other riders and seeing the glorious expanse of the Roman Empire. We were literally riding on roads used by chariots and horses hundreds of years ago. 15 hours after the start, I was trudging through what felt like thick black mashed potatoes. It was mud devoid of any liquid, so it stuck to everything and clumped up immediately. I was carrying my bike on my back, and the temperature had dropped to 35 degrees Fahrenheit, or just 2 degrees Celsius. I had a bivy sack but no sleeping bag since I planned for the April average of 75 degrees. One phrase kept singing through my head, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, over. Luckily, I teamed up with a crazy Dane named Casper, aka the Friendly Ghost, who let me borrow a jacket when we snuck into an empty garage around 4 o'clock in the morning. After riding a rough 135 miles, I slept for an hour, but woke up shivering. Now, hypothermia was my biggest concern. Never mind getting to the end, I wanted to get home alive. I had to start moving again. I rode for a couple hours until the sun came up and stopped for a hot coffee. Italian cafe is like no other in the world, so it made me think I could do a couple hours more. The second day was even harder, but the sun was coming out and I kept going. If I could just make it to Siena, I could get to a hotel and call my wife to come get me in a few days. Italy might beat me, but it wouldn't kill me, I thought. But a strange thing happened despite the rain every day. Italy cast her spell over me and I kept riding. I'd solved my sleeping bag problems when I got to Florence and find a rumored North Face store there.
Okay, no.
Do you know North Face? Yeah.
The North Face shop.
Yeah, exactly.
In the centrum. You must go in the centrum and ask.
Down here?
Straight on.
I'm not kidding.
Oh, no. Which one is it?
This one.
They have just one left. What's it rated to?
Sorry?
Rating?
The rating goes until 10 degrees.
Okay. It's probably
it's primal loft.
Primal loft, yeah, it's not down. Okay,
yeah.
And is it normal size or is it long?
Yeah, normal size.
Is it? Okay. How much?
This goes for 100. Marco, ti ricordi il prezzo? Ah no, 105.
105?
Yeah. And it's a regular.
The riding was at times incredible, but other times brutally punishing. The GPS track was miserable, and knowing where to go was a challenge, but I developed a rule. To tell if you're going the right way, and the Italy Divide. One is if nothing. One is if there are tire tracks in the road, and two is if you're going the wrong way down a one-way street. I'd ride for 2 hours, then stop to stretch and eat something. And I decided after day 2 it was going to be something good. I'm drinking a Guinness on the Italy Divide. The miles passed in a tortuously slow manner, 12 to 18 hours in the saddle each day. Time only sped up when I stopped. Each 5 to 10 minute break for coffee was like a bizarre time warp where someone hit the fast forward button on everyone but me. At night I'd find someplace relatively dry to put my bivy sack and my new 50 degree or 10 degree Celsius bag, and I'd shiver for a couple hours before I started up again. This is really rugged and unforgiving terrain going up this mountain. After the big climb between Florence and Bologna, I was home free. Now I could eat, drink, and really enjoy the scenery. The reward for getting over the mountain and through that mud was seeing a side of one of the world's most beautiful countries, where cycling's more than just a hobby. Like fashion and Ferraris, it's a national passion. The planned finish was over Monte Baldo, towering over Lake Garda in the Italian Alps. But like many self-supported races, the routes people took were strangely different and changed at the last minute. But in the end, it's all about having fun, seeing the country and making new friends. I really enjoyed getting to see Lake Garda from up high. And to paraphrase Bob Marley, the truth is that every race is going to hurt. You just have to find the ones worth suffering for. And the Italy Divide is worth the pain. Ciao.